We want to see South Africa succeed. We are committed to a country that is more inclusive, that has greater opportunities for job creation for more South Africans, in which every South African can live a life of opportunity and dignity, and finds in South Africa a government that's on their side to help them realize that opportunity and to be the best that they can be for themselves and their families. The DA is obviously extremely committed to ensuring that this coalition government succeeds in its two primary objectives: increased and inclusive economic growth and jobs. It was for this reason that I wrote to the President, declaring a dispute and invoking Clause 19 of the Statement of Intent. Clause 19 codifies the procedure to be followed when differences on issues arise between parties to the GNU. At least 3 of the other parties in the GNU have released statements over the last 72 hours indicating their unhappiness with the lack of consultation within the Government of National Unity. Let me also be very clear, because I've noted certain tweets by certain office bearers in the ANC that seem to imply that 19 doesn't apply to decisions on legislation and other things. It absolutely does. It applies to any matter where there's no agreement between the parties within the GNU. In my letter, and in the spirit of attempting to improve the relationship between the DA and the ANC, I insisted on a meeting with the President. I'm glad that the President has heeded the call and discussions underway to arrange this meeting between myself and the President. I hope that this will be the first step in improving the relationships and stability and restoring trust amongst coalition partners within the GNU. We remain committed to the Government of National Unity. We see it as a clear vehicle for economic growth and job creation. A very real risk to the country, however, still remains, and that risk is the implementation of the NHI. It is important to emphasize that the Democratic Alliance stands square behind universal access to basic health care for all South Africans. We do not, however, believe that the currently conceived NHI, as presented, will achieve universal health care and without doing significant damage to the private healthcare sector in South Africa, and also potentially causing the collapse or further collapse of the public healthcare sector. The implementation of the NHI in its current form, we believe, will destroy the private healthcare sector. The constitutional right to have access to healthcare services will also be severely compromised, if not totally destroyed. The subsequent economic decline and job losses will simply be unbearable. If there's an insistence that without any further consultation, NHI in its current form, including the targets it set out to collapse private medical health care and remove tax credits for medical aid, will not be tolerated. I reiterate my earlier statement. The Democratic Alliance stands square behind the Government of National Unity. We see it as an opportunity for South Africa to move forward in a unified way and in a way that grows the economy and creates jobs. We will continue to work as hard as we can and as constructively as we can with all parties to the GNU, including the ANC, and we hope to find consensus in the way forward. But I must make it very clear, and no one must be under any doubt, that we will not be taken for granted, we will not be reduced to being spectators, and the day that we cannot have an influence on growing the economy and creating jobs will be the day that our future involvement in the GNU will have to be questioned.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.